How's it going, everyone? Mad Spartan here, and today I'm bringing you another Contest of Champions war video. I believe it is war number 6. Very big war for us. Spoiler alert, was not a good war for me, but we do still end up winning, so overall the team did great. Not so much me. We do have a Photon boss. As usual, I'm not on the boss island, but I am taking down, I believe, 3 minis. So it is a pretty big war for me. I do end up dying 2 times to the same champ. Very upsetting, but we will get to that and why that happened a little bit later. First up, we do have a Hulk. He is Sig 20, rank 2, so very beefy. It's on the node where you can't stun them unless you have a buff active, but because he's the global, he might go unstoppable. So as you can see here, I do use a lot of gray boost this war, and I also use a lot next war. But the first thing I'm going to do is try to gain some withers beta heavy so I don't cash in the 20% stun. And just like that, we're going to gain the slow. The key thing in this game is to constantly have that slow active. So I will be doing heavies to gain the heavy proficiencies while also reapplying the slow. I am going to be doing the SP1 here because we don't really have to worry too much about the decelerates. He's not going to be going unstoppable consistently. And as long as I have the slow from the global there, it's not that big of a deal. We're going to keep knocking him down, keep reapplying the slow while also doing our big damage. And now we have 4 heavy proficiencies, which is a lot. And as long as we keep maintaining the slow, it's not that big of a deal. I am going to be going right into the SP2. As you can see, he went into gamma radiation, but I had the slow from the global there. And now we have so many decelerates. We have like 2 different forms of slow. And that should be the end of it. We are killing it right now. Big burst damage. He is very tanky, though. 22k burst, which is really good, considering he is a rank 2. So the fact that he's living through that is pretty crazy. But the Petrifies are reversing a lot of the regen. He's just slowly ticking away. Bait the SP2. He should be good to go after this SP1. And just like that, he is done. Very solid fight. Like I've been saying, Sandman is just killing it. He's really been treating me very well. I've been making sure that I got the hang of him now. No more problems with him. Next up, we do have a Wiccan. I say it all the time. I don't know why they put him here. It's all about Nullify. I think it's just the fact that he's a global. But we do land an intercept off, which is pretty good. We're trying not to dex anything, so we did get 2 big intercepts. Now I did a parry heavy. I'm going to try to bait this SP1 though, because we don't want the SP2. And I believe it starts this war. I don't know what's going on with the AI, but they're like never throwing their specials. I don't know what it is. They're holding out on me. Specifically champs, I don't want their SP2 to come out. They don't ever throw their SP1. And just like that, Wiccan is done. So as you can see, like we're climbing right through this. Not a big deal. Next up, we do have a Toad. Not really a tough node, especially for him. It's just when you knock them down, you gain a Fury, and it does placebo buffs. But for a mutant, doesn't really do anything. So I did bring Idoom. The biggest thing was we do have Zemo and EMP, which if you guys remember from my last video, I didn't end up taking because I don't have Magneto. He's on defense, so the backup has to take that. But it was a huge thing with moving around, and if I couldn't try to take the Zemo, then I would have to take the Stun Reflect Mysterio. But the only problem is my Spidey 2099 isn't awake enough to take it, and he's only rank 4, which wouldn't be too much of a problem if he was Sig 200, but he is only rank 4 and not even close to Sig 200. So I was preferring to take it to someone who I thought at the time had a Sig 200 Spidey, which we found out he didn't. So at that point, it was all wasted and literally a complete waste of time. But not a big deal. Unfortunately, that meant for me, because at the time I thought he had Sig 200, for me to take Zemo with Idoom, which, if any of you know, is a horrible thing. And this is what I'm talking about. I've been baiting this SP1 for like 45 seconds. It was crazy. He still doesn't throw it. At that point, I just give up. But unfortunately, because I thought I was giving a better Spider-Man the chance to take it. You know, just the fact of him being Sig 200 should be enough, whether he's 455 or not. But I would have just taken it if I thought it was the same thing. But unfortunately, we didn't know that, and I had to muscle my way through Zemo with the wrong champ. And you guys are going to see that it goes pretty bad. I had to cut the audio because I didn't line up the clips correctly. So if there's a little bit of a jump, that's why. So I'm looking at this fight and I'm like, okay, for the greater good of the alliance and my battle group, I will muscle my way through the Zemo. I don't care what happens. I was a little nervous because Toad was like showing me that these AI are not going to cooperate. So I was like, you know what? No, he will cooperate. I have faith. So we're going to start it off with, unfortunately, the medium is always going to do a shock. So I'm going to be ending the combos in lights because I don't want the second shock to, get rooted faster. So ending combos in lights here, trying to bait the SP1 because I really don't want any part of the SP2. So we're going to be trying to end combos in lights. He's right under 1 bar, but unfortunately, I know he's not going to be throwing it because I also don't want the disorient. Part of me was thinking I'd rather just block the SP2 a lot and then punish him accordingly. So now he has 1 more, and now I'm thinking in my head, okay, not a big deal. We're going to bait this SP1, then I'm going to hit him, and then that's it. We're just going to wait out the rooted. Not a big deal. So I get rooted. Not a big deal. I'm trying to hold on to the SP2 because I feel like I'm not going to be able to do it without the big damage from the SP2. So that's the only reason why I didn't throw it, to save myself. So this is the whole thing I was looking for here. Throw the SP2. Big power burn. The fight isn't going too well. I am ticking more than on willpower regenning, but it's not a big deal because I know he has the big arc overload regen basically. So taking our time with it, and we're pretty much mowing him down. Got a lot of lucky crits there, and have to throw the SP1 to escape, and somehow he's literally reducing my regen, so I melted, accidentally mistiming the dex on the SP2 and getting shot. I did not want to block any damage. That's why I ended it in a 5-hit combo and then dashed back. I should have just did a 4-hit combo and dashed back, or did the 5-hit combo and just ate at least 1 blocked hit. But unfortunately, it didn't work, and now I'm annoyed. So I'm like, okay, he's under 50% health. Not a big deal. We got a lot of lucky crits there, so we did big burst damage. He does have 5 big furies. So slowly just taking our time, I'm like, all right, maybe I'd rather bait SP1s. But the problem with baiting SP1s is when you inevitably get rooted, he's just going to be laying into my block. So now I'm baiting SP1, and now I'm like, okay, baiting, but now it's rise to power, so he got his SP2. So I'm like, all right, not a big deal. I'll just block the SP2. You know what I mean? So I'll just take my time with it, If I get too close to the corner, hit into his block to gain distance. So I'm like, all right, he's going to throw the SP2 soon. Gain some distance from him. Push him on his side of the field maybe. Baiting, nothing. Guys, you cannot believe what I had to go through. So now we're good, right? I mistimed the dex again. I was so pissed. I was like, I cannot believe I'm doing this bad. So now I'm dexing in the corner, and I get hit because his incoming was faster than my medium. So I'm playing, I'm being slow with it, I know he is going to get rooted, so couldn't worry about that. Unfortunately, I knew I was going to die anyway, so I did throw the SP2, hoping, because I was kind of hoping the SP2 power drained, like a tad, not a lot, but like just enough. But unfortunately, it did not. I was so pissed, I just ended the recording in the middle. Definitely not a good showcasing of it. I know I can't take, I said it in the beginning of the season, I can't take Zemo because I don't have mag, but I thought it was for the greater good that I could muscle my way, maybe only die once, but unfortunately, due to the AI not cooperating, me just using the wrong champ, it just did not go well. But unfortunately, my war was far from over, literally far from over. So I was like, all right, I got to get my head back in the game. I didn't even take a break because I felt like if I would have taken a break, I would not have wanted to get back on the game. So I just went right into the next one. Luckily, it's an aggressive regen, so Sandman just eats that up. I did pop a gray boost with a power start. I will be hitting his heavy with my heavy a lot because I'm trying to gain all my heavy proficiencies. As you can see, I'm going to be prioritizing not only hitting him with heavies to gain the heavy proficiencies, but also prioritizing the petrifies to try to get rid of not only the power gain, but also the regen because he's not a global defender, so he will be gaining some power when I don't have petrifies on him from the, I don't know the name of the node, but when you're immune to something, they do gain power. So I will be prioritizing the petrifies for a big thing while also gaining my heavy proficiencies. So overall, when I inevitably go unstable, I'm doing big damage to him. Do have to do the SP1 here because it doesn't really matter how much damage you're doing when you're unstable, due to the fact that you're probably just going to be he's probably going to be healing most of it because you are in his face, so the petrifies are more important than getting your big burst damage. It's a 5-minute fight. You are going to be getting that big burst damage that you're looking for, but right now we are prioritizing. See, now he's regenerating for about 2k, but as long as we keep those petrifies up, he'll be degenning that amount. So it is a bigger priority. You always prioritize the petrifies you put on over the big burst unstable damage. As you can see, I did end the combo a little early, so I was just under the 19 mark because I don't like wasting unstable charges when I'm blocking. And he did end up throwing the SP1, but with the amount of petrifies, he ended up degenning for like 2k a tick. So it was actually bad for him to do that. Now next up, we do have the one eye open Gore. Not too bad. As you, if you guys remember, I did play him last war. And it didn't go great. I mean, I ended up beating him only because he was burning to death as I was running away from him. And fortunately, we did beat that eye doom fast enough that we still had 55 seconds left on the power start, which is very important for this. We're going to be trying to constantly knock him down with specials, never have to stun him, and constantly keep that neutralize up. That is literally the most important thing. So we're going to be prioritizing spells. I do the end of combo to light the neutralize spell again because I don't want to, if I'm already pausing it, it's only just going to reapply the pause duration. And right now I use the full pause duration from the spell when I was holding block, and then reapplied it after it expired, so I got an extra couple of seconds out of the first one. And just like that, that is how the fight is supposed to go. I know last war it did not go that way. I ended up getting backed into the corner and I was scared, and overall it was bad. Now, finally, the last fight of this war, I could put this phone down and cry about the fact that I just screwed myself and my team over, is an Ascended Rank 5 Sig 200 Doom on Conflictor, which is the usual stuff. Unfortunately, Doom is not the global, so we're not putting any withers from the Conflictor, so you have to deal with, most of the time, full Conflictor and also Mystic Dispersion. Fortunately, this guy's Mystic Dispersion must have been maybe 3 out of 5. He doesn't really gain too much, if you can tell. I don't even think he gains like 40% of a bar of power. I think it's like really minimal. So I got a little lucky there that his Mystic Dispersion wasn't too high. We're gonna start putting those petrifies to turn off Doom and also stop some of the Conflictor. Doesn't stop it by too much. We learned from the last videos that you need about 15 petrifies before you start doing damage. And unfortunately, I'm not doing any damage with the burst because there's literally no debuffs on him. So I do have to keep baiting SP1s. Don't want him to get to the SP2. I think he gets to it one time this game, and we pretty much just block it. It's not that big of a deal. And then towards the fight, I realized I can just throw the SP1 while he has aura. Because of how slow his SP1 animation is, the aura will probably expire before my SP1 ends. So just like that, now we're stacking up the petrifies. Just have to bait the SP1. I'm thinking any second now he's going to stop cooperating with me and I'm going to have to block or eat an SP2 or something. But he actually was pretty generous. In the middle of the combo, I'm going to pop the relic so I get my guaranteed stun, so I get some big damage. I do throw the SP1 in hopes that it keeps him just under 2 bars. But unfortunately, with the little amount of Conflictor power gain he got, it did push him over. And even with the block, like, it still was a lot. The unstable does give us like a lot of resistance, and even with blocking it, we lost about 23% of our health, which is an absurd amount. I do still have my indestructible charge, which I'm constantly keeping in check because I know I did use one right in the beginning of the game. Because of how slow Sandman's incoming is, I'm always afraid that when I'm dexing a heavy, that I'm gonna dash back and dash in and get parried. That's why it's always safe to get an indestructible with him. Because if I'm late by a few seconds and the computer is smart enough to parry me, we do eat big damage. So I'm going to try to go for it here. Big burst hopefully is enough to kill him. We only have one unstable charge, and it almost was. So that's when we throw the relic out and we end it. Like I said, we did end up winning, which was huge for us. I was very happy about that. I always get upset that I might screw the team, but we did end up winning. So good job to my group for carrying me this war. By the time that this voiceover is happening, we are currently in our next war, and I already finished that, so I'm going to be voiceovering that video as well, like right after this. And that is a big surprise coming who we're playing up against. It's going to be tough, but we do end up winning this, so we are in Masters at this point, and it is very exciting. Everyone really has to buckle down and get this win because it is very necessary. But overall, my team's doing great. You know, very proud of those guys. They're carrying me when I suck. But I hope you guys enjoying the videos. Plan to have more coming, and also gonna go back to Street Fighter 6. I actually obtained master rank in that, so also have master rank in that game too. You know, I just did a couple of tournaments. Maybe we'll talk about like how I did in those tournaments. And overall, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you all in the next one.